Removes all four of the cowling converters. It's a racing exhaust we make for Coney Challenge race cars, because we build engines for Coney Challenge race cars. Some people, I'm sure, buy them and put them on their street cars. It's not legal, but it is worth 25, 30 horsepower if you pull the cowling converters off an engine, whether it's our engine or anybody else's. That's the reality of it. Nice piece. And if you look at also most middle exhaust systems, there's been a lot of talk on the forums about why is our middle exhaust system so expensive, everybody else so cheap. Most people advertise what they call an X-pipe, and an X-pipe is usually a piece of straight tubing with an X in it like this, and then sometimes they'll say a couple feet of pipe here. Okay. This is not the most expensive part of building this. Okay. We add 4 resonators in to keep the noise down. We put in a little ball thing to match the BMW muffler. We put billet flanges at the other end to match the cowling converter, mounting brackets for the transmission, all welded together, not little pieces you put together yourself. That's half of it there. Our cost of manufacturing is twice as theirs because there's twice as many parts. Just to give you an idea, the resonators cost us $200 a piece to build. Okay, it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, it's $800. If you double that times 2, which is typical markup on a product because we give the dealer a 25% discount, that's $1,600 in the retail price. Guess what? Our middle exhaust is going to cost $1,600 more than everybody else's. Doesn't have resonators in it. I could leave the resonators out too to save money and beat them on the price point, but then the thing blows your brains out and it's painful inside the car. And who wants to drive around that every day?
That's what I had before.
What's that?
That's what I had. X-pipe, no resonators.
Yeah. Loud,
but, yeah, plus I know it's a little bit of bottom end.
Yeah.
The torque.
Yeah. So this is the right way to do it. Unfortunately, it costs a lot more. We pay for tooling to have these things stamped rather than cobbling little pieces together. We have billet flanges made. The flanges are like $50 a piece. The billet flanges, we put 4 resonators on at $200 a piece. When you're all done, you put twice as much stuff in, it costs twice as much money. We can leave the content out too. There's a lot of rumors that Dinan's expensive. Actually, if you compare prices, actually we're not. Like go on right now and look at 335 exhaust systems. We're the least expensive 335 exhaust in the market, least expensive E92 M3 exhaust in the market. Okay, go compare prices. We're at $300 to $700 less on the M3 exhaust, or $100 to $300 less on the 335 motors than everybody else that's out there. Okay.
Axle back, or
what's that?
On the 235s?
Just rear mufflers.
Just rear muffler
Yeah.
section?
When you're comparing apples and apples, let's say you take a muffler and a muffler, and the content of the parts is about the same. We're very, very competitive in the price, usually about equal to everybody else, if not on the low end of the price spectrum. Okay. Where we get the reputation of being expensive, sometimes we make more exotic parts, like a V10 engine or a supercharged system or a middle exhaust with more stuff in it. Because it has more content, the price goes up. And then they compare it to a part that has less content, and they go, boy, you guys are sure expensive. Well, it's easy to leave content out and lower the price. Okay, if you're comparing apples and apples, the price isn't different. If you go out and compare by suspension systems on the 335, we're the least expensive by $300 or $400. But everybody else's is coilsovers, so it should cost a little more, right? Because there's more parts in it. Okay, but the rumor out there is that we charge for the name. We don't. We charge for the extra pieces. We charge for the extra research because they cost more money. We charge for the extra warranty because they cost more money. There's not a lot of warranty exposure on a real muffler. A pound of stainless costs a pound of stainless. So if you compare a muffler to muffler, our price is going to be within $100 of everybody else's. Okay, but there's certain things that we just won't compromise on. For example, cold air intakes is another one where very expensive. Everybody else's cold air intake is usually a piece of sheet metal with a K&N filter underneath it, or a tube with a K&N filter at the end of it. It's a really cheap way to make a cold air intake. But our experience has been, if you don't seal the engine compartment from the heat, you don't use an insulating material like carbon fiber or plastic, you don't run ducts outside the engine compartment, okay, it's not going to work because you're sucking hot air from under the hood into the motor and you're going to lose power because the air density goes down, right? So for example, if you look at the E60 M5 cold air intake out there, that's a $2,000 cold air intake from us. Everybody else's is $600 to $800, okay? But it's 2 injected molded air boxes with rubber hose to seal the front of the car with carbon fiber lids with bigger air mass meters, okay? The tooling for the plastic was $100,000 to make the boxes, $100,000. Our cost to build that kit is more than the other people's retail price that they're selling it for, with the amount of parts inside. But it is sealed. It is an insulated material plastic. It actually makes more power. It doesn't make less. Okay, so again, there's a lot more content, a lot more research that drives the price up. So what you have to be careful of is, am I really comparing apples and apples? You know, if it's the same kind of part like a rear muffler, it's going to be the same price. If it's a better, more complex part, it's going to cost more. That's just the reality of life, right? I mean, when you buy a Toyota versus a BMW, they both come with 4 wheels and a steering wheel and a motor, and right? So if you look at the content of even those cars, they're very, very similar. There might be a few more gadgets in the BMW, but the BMW still costs twice as much as the Toyota. What are you paying for? You're paying for the research and the extra performance that research gives you. and the better quality materials that go inside of it.
Absolutely.
You know?
And the badge.
Watch, don't bump. Let's knock it over on the way by.